Hi everybody, Andrew Cuneo here. I'm going to be hopping into a Strixhaven Flashback draft. It's the last day of those on Arena. I think Strixhaven's one of the better draft formats they've had in recent years. I opened the best possible card to open, Mascot Exhibition, so that's pretty nice. This is an interesting draft format because it has a couple of really unusual dynamics. It's a guild-based format, which is not my favorite thing. Usually that leads to a very narrow draft format, but there are two things that make it pretty interesting. One is these mystical archive cards, which add, it makes the set feel larger and gives you more variety in what you can draft. And the other thing is the lesson learn mechanic is, I think, pretty cool in Limited, having to draft the lessons and the learn cards. So there's some additional, stuff to think about as you're drafting. So I got Mascot Exhibition is the best lesson, and basically any learn card I get is going to give me access to Mascot Exhibition, which means that, I got like a great card to start, and I'm going to be able to get lots and lots of ways to access it as we go through the draft. So that is tremendous. I think I might just take Creative Outburst. The other thing that's great about this format is that you can get, aggressive beatdown decks, but you can also get decks that play almost no creatures. It feels like a really wide open format, much more so than a lot of other formats. What do I want here? I could take Serpentine Curve, which is just like 4 mana. You get a giant creature later on in the game, but early on it's not the best. There's also Spirit Summoning for a second lesson. I think if I wasn't already kind of in more of a blue-red deck, Professor of Zoomancy is actually quite a strong card. But I'm going to go with Spirit Summoning. This card... just generic card drawing. It's okay, but I think that there are cards at common that do roughly the same thing. It's just about as good. I think I'm going to take either Memory Lapse or Prismari Pledge Mage. Let's take Memory Lapse. It's banned in Historic. It's got to be good. What does this one do? Oh, that card's really bad. All right, so here we go. I'm going to take my first learn card, Pop Quiz. Draw a card, go and get Mascot Exhibition. And I'm going to move the Mascot Exhibition and the Spirit Summoning to my sideboard because that's where they're going to be. This is a really good learn card as well. I do need to get some creatures to be able to force the combat. It works out really well with Prismari Pledge Mage. Combat Professor is quite a strong card. Do I want the Thrill of Possibility? I could also wind up just being more of a blue-green deck. Field Trip is pretty good if I wind up in blue-green. Like blue-green splash a little bit of red. Let's try for that. Another Pop Quiz. I could take Start from Scratch. It's not that exceptional of a lesson to be able to get. It certainly is good to have as an option, but I wouldn't say it's that important. I'm considering just taking this 1/3, just to have a cheap creature. I think that's what I'm going to do. Well, Professor of Zoomancy wheeled. I think that there was one in the next pack as well. I'd be surprised if that one wheels too. That would just be great. You get 5 power for 4 mana across 2 bodies, and you do get like a tiny bit of life gain on the side. They don't have to be red. Creative Outburst is a good card, but it is a double red, very expensive card. Academic Dispute is also, it's a pretty good reason to be red, but I don't have to be. I don't think there's any way I would actually have Crossing Grip in my deck, but I don't want any of that other stuff either. All right, Ingenious Mastery, Wield. I don't think this card is bad. I think Pop Quiz is probably better in a lot of decks. It's certainly better in this deck where I've got Mascot Exhibition. I don't think I really want any of those. If I get a deck with an incredible late game, it is actually possible to play Excavated Wall. You know, just as a cheap defensive card. Blue-green, I'm going to struggle a little bit to get, you know, tons of early defense. I'm not going to have access to a lot of removal. Do I want to solve the equation? Not really. I'd say by far the best card here is Killian's Irish Red Ink Duelist, which I do think is better than the Silver Quill Silencer. The Silencer is certainly nothing special in limited. And it's still a 3 power 2-drop, so it's really not, it's not terrible, but it's not great. Take Expanded Anatomy, just have another lesson. It's a lesson that I'm probably not going to make very much use of in my deck, but the thing about the lesson learned cards is even like the ones that seem like you're almost never going to use them still have some value. All right, here I'm going to take Igneous Inspiration. It's a great 2-for-1. I'm going to need to start focusing a little bit on making sure that I get enough mana fixing. This card, Double Major, as I recall, doesn't do anything. So I think I want to take probably the Biomathematician. Compulsive Research and Eureka Moment are both certainly fine, but I already have 3 cards that are kind of like that with Ingenious Mastery and 2 Pop Quizzes. And Field Trip is, it's not really the same as those, but it is a little, it's along the same kind of lines. It's like 3 mana, it doesn't really affect the board immediately. So there's a Test of Talents, which is actually a card that is, it is playable in this format. I wouldn't say it's great, but it isn't, like, even just in your main deck, you can put this in your deck and it's going to be really good against like half the decks and be kind of bad against the others. I'm not going to take it. I'm going to take Fractal Summoning just to have another good lesson. Wow. I saw the satchel and I was like, I could take that. That wouldn't be that bad. And I saw the Needlethorn Drake and I was like, I'll probably have to take that over the satchel. And then I saw Environmental Sciences and that's what I'm going to pick. So now I've got a pretty good lesson package. Here I will just take the Needlethorn Drake, just have a cheap card. This Reflective Golem already, like, it always looks like, you know, you could maybe do something with it, but it just, it comes together so rarely that it's really not worth it. Would I play with Exponential Growth? Probably not. Don't think I need to delve. If either of these were a land that actually, you know, was in the Temur colors, I would certainly pick it. I'm certainly not going to play Laura Hold Pledge Mage, and I don't think I need to hedge that I'm going to branch into 4 colors. I'll just take another copy of this thing, which really it's more of that stuff than I need. Do I want another field trip? Academic Dispute is way better in a base red deck that is good at, you know, forcing people to block and eating their creatures, but not so much here. Reconstruct History is a really good card if you can support it. I'm going to take that actually. Maybe I'm going to branch off into a 3rd color. We'll see. Would I play any of these cards? Probably not. I think I like the ability to get one of my important spells back from the graveyard more than I like having an extra power and some ward. Would I actually play the Ogier Battleseer? I kind of tend to think no. So I'm going to take another lesson. The thing with the lesson cards is that even if you have ones your deck just isn't even capable of casting, you can get them into your hand, and then the next time you learn, you can loot them away, and you just wind up 1 card. Like, you only do that once you've kind of gone past all of the learn cards that are all of the lessons that help you. But it does every once in a while come up. This card is so good, Sparring Regimen. It's just not particularly good in my deck. Should I take it anyway? Expressive Iteration's obviously also great, although it's just kind of more of the same. I'm going to take this. We're going to see what I can piece together here. Ooh, Rutha. Nice. Do I only have 1 field trip? I thought I took a second one. I guess I took something over it. I don't remember what it was. All right, so let's not pick a black card here. I'm just going to take Elemental Summoning. Again, very important not to pick a black card. I can just take Cram Session. Seems fine. I want a second Fractal Summoning or a Campus. I think I need a Campus. As it stands, I think I'm probably going to wind up playing like 18 lands. I want this thing. Just a big dumb guy. I guess. $18 lands with 2 looters and a bunch of expensive cards. Seems okay. Wow, I have a 3rd Soothsayer Adept if I need it. Hopefully I don't. Do I want Opt or do I want a Prismari Pledge Mage? I think I just want the Pledge Mage. It's going to be a little bit hard to cast. I think my deck is mostly green-blue. But I'm going to play certainly only one Plains and maybe like 2 Mountains. I really wish I had that white-red campus now. Another green-blue campus. Or Heated Debate or Pest Summoning. I think I need to take some more mana fixing. I've kind of gone off the rails a little bit by trying to force white into my deck, but I wanted to maximize the fun nature of my deck. White-black campus, not what I'm looking for. These white-red cards I don't think I would play either. Tangle Trap, not really an all-star. I don't think I would play Defend the Campus either. Maybe a second Biblioplex Assistant makes my deck. It's not the stuff dreams are made of. So how many lessons did I wind up with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't think I'm going to run out of learn cards. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I guess I could actually run out of lessons. Because my deck also is capable of recurring stuff from the graveyard with Reconstruct History and with the Biblioplex Assistants, although probably most of the learn cards I wouldn't bring back. I could see myself bringing back Igneous Inspiration. Outside of that, probably not, though. All right. Only 1 Plains. 5 Mountains. I don't think I'm going to play 5 Mountains. So this gives me 7 blue, 7 green. Let's go up to 8 blue, 8 green. 3 red. Is that enough red? Remember, I've got the environmental sciences, so later on in the game, I will be able to find a mountain. I think I'm gonna play a 4th mountain and only play 7 green. I don't really. Probably my deck shouldn't even be green at all. I got excited about the Professor of Zoomancy wheeling. And then I didn't really see much green from that point onward. Look at this curve. 2-drop into 3-drop. I'm going to have 3 creatures in play at the end of the 3rd turn. No one's going to be able to stop this deck. I think you don't really want to ever play this for the student cost. I'm going to block with the Soothsayer Adept. I don't really care that much if it winds up dying in combat. Ooh, that card's scary. like a double strike theme deck. Cast instants and sorceries from your graveyard. Alright, I think I'm going to have a good turn next turn. Just probably pass with Creative Outburst up. This card, it is really hard for this card to be good. This is supposed to be like a Library of Alexandria callback. Library of Alexandria, incredibly good. This card, incredibly bad. Like, exceptionally so. Guess I'll take Sparring Regiment. It is outrageously good. Can this attack? Oh, you have to play an instant / sorcery before it can attack. That's less fun. Yikes. It's a lot of damage. I don't know that I've ever had this Splash Sparring Regimen and the Prismari Pledge Mage is going to get bigger situation before. I guess I can Pillar Drop Warden back the Heated Debate. Deal me some damage. I think I would just take the 4 at that point rather than using Arcane Subtraction just to prevent 2 damage. I think I'm going to prefer to have the Arcane Subtraction in a spot where it's allowing me to win a combat. Okay. Do you have a mascot exhibition? An expanded our intro to Annihilation. This card's actually one of the few lessons that's a little bit worse than it looks. I mean, it's still certainly worth having access to in your sideboard if you can at a low cost, but it's really expensive for what it does. I don't know about this as a strategy. Just chump blocking. I guess I'll subtraction the Frost Trickster this turn. How do I want to attack is the question. I think I'm just going to attack with these two. The counter on this guy. I don't want to take damage on the ground if I can avoid it. Obviously, I'm leaving up memory lapse this turn. The potential in memory lapse, you know, they're going to play an expensive spell. Another Twin Scroll Shaman. This worked out pretty well. Oh, I could have played the Quandrix Campus instead. I miscounted my mana. I didn't do that last turn because they had one unknown card and I didn't want this thing to just die and then they wind up being able to attack me if they have like Pigment Storm plus card that gets this off the board. It's been a fun game. That's probably gonna spell the end for my opponent. What do you get back? You get back Artifact, Enchantment, Instant, Sorcery, Planeswalker. I don't have any Planeswalkers to get back. Is that a flaw in my deck building? So I'd be getting back like Memory Lapse Mascot Exhibition. And that's it. I guess I can Rutha it. And then I would be getting back Creative Outburst, Fractal Summoning as well. You can't use this thing at instant speed, so this is just a chump. If I thought they were going to jump like this, I would have attacked with my 4/4, but I think that would have just caused them to block the way they should, which is to have the Twin Scroll Shaman chump. Rutha is so good. I don't quite have enough mana. I didn't think about it. I guess I can win the game just by Ruthing Creative Outburst. I think I'm one land short from having just. No, I'm more than one land short from being able to do that all in one turn. Because it would be 7 plus 5 plus 4, so 14. I have 12, so I'm actually not that short. I would like to get back, choose an artifact card. No. Choose an enchantment card. No. Choose an instant. Memory Lapse. Choose a sorcery mascot exhibition. Choose a planeswalker. No card to choose. Okay. No card to choose. Choose an instant card. This is Creative Outburst and Fractal Summoning, I think. Fine. This is a sorcery, right? They'd had enough of being Ruthed. I remember there being more aggro decks in the past when I used to play this format. But this happens a lot in flashback drafts where a lot of people just do what I've done, where they kind of force the archetype that they want to play. I don't know that I necessarily forced this kind of like multicolor spells deck. It is the direction you want to go in when you open Mascot Exhibition, even though you could play Mascot Exhibition in any deck. I think this is the archetype that probably takes the best advantage of it. Biomathematician. Had I not drawn the Biomathematician there, my plan was to just play the Biblioplex Assistant and put Pop Quiz back on top. That's a pretty good card. I've kind of fallen behind because they had double field trip into Quandrix Cultivator. So they're just going to get to do crazy amounts of stuff every turn. They even have the rare lesson. It's got to be nice for them. I don't remember. Is this a... There's at least 4 more cards than you. They don't have 4 more. They only have 3 more. Oh, please don't Mage Duel me. Ugh. Yuck. That really didn't go well. Didn't go well at all. This card is really not very good at all. I think I maybe took the wrong card. I think I've fallen so far behind I can't win. The fact that they ramped so much at the start of the game, it's making this pretty hard for me. I guess next turn I'm gonna play Sparring Regimen and then go get start from scratch. What does this thing do? Oh, okay. Please don't have any instants or sorceries. What do you know? They had one. All right, I lose. It's going to be another one of these blue spell deck mirrors. Wish I'd take that test of talents. I don't know what I took over it. Certainly would have been good in all the matchups I've had so far. That's nice. I was hoping there was going to be a better target for me to Igneous Inspiration this turn than the Campus Guide, because I really want to go and get Environmental Sciences so I can go and get my planes. Ouch. It's not that bad for me yet, because they're tapped out, so I'm going to get my planes. Sparring Regiment. I think I'm just going to get Mascot Exhibition here. And I can attack with this thing. Gets a counter, making it a respectable blocker. Next turn I can play Leyline Invocation. If I don't draw something better, I'm going to double block the Professor of Zoomancy. If they have a removal spell and they kill both my creatures, it's fine. It's like I'm just eating my way through the removal spell that would have targeted Leyline Invocation probably. I don't remember what this thing does. If I draw an untapped land next turn, I might want to Igneous Inspiration that. I'm not sure I'm winning fast enough that I just want to ignore it. It is just sort of drawing them one card a turn, but they're getting to tutor for the cards, and then you wind up with a bunch of extra cards with study counters on them in your exile zone, which probably they don't have any other study-related stuff. Usually it's better to play the Kiane side of this if you're not planning on just attacking. You need 8 or more lands. I don't think there was a lot of value in attacking and putting the counter on the pest. They would have just traded with the Campus Guide, which is probably what's going to happen with the pest anyway. I think I should just get a 3-2 rather than start from scratch. This turn, this is going to be able to attack next turn because I can put the counter on it. So even if the Scourge Colony is a 4/4, it would only trade with the Spirit token. I could also next turn just discard this to get a treasure and then reconstruct history and get back Igneous Inspiration and Creative Outburst. Be a little bit disappointing if that was my turn, but that might be my best option. They're all 5 colors. Nice. They're down to 1 card, though. Plus whatever Ibrahim, the Dean of Theory, can find. Oh, that's a good card. Just a straight up 8/8. I think I need to do this goofy play. Zeros. The UI for this couldn't be more confusing, I think. So for 6 mana, I regrew Igneous Inspiration and produced a treasure and revealed to my opponent that I have Creative Outburst. Okay. Not loving what they've got going on. They do have the Quandrix Campus, so they're probably going to be playing a spell every turn for most of the rest of the game. I'll just go ahead and double block here. It does mean that I'm not going to get the benefit of the Sparring Regimen, but I would take an additional 4 damage, and my guy's not actually going to outsize their guy anyway. Bottom, bottom, bottom. 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 Or top and it's a really bad card. Although top and it's a really bad card seems like a lot to ask. Hey, I was right not to block. Nice. Of course, they're probably getting Fractal Summoning. Now they got Introduction to Annihilation. That's not that bad for me. They can annihilate the Sparring Regimen, but that's fine. I think I'm just going to make a 5/5. Maybe I should just kill their 4/4. Just killing their 4/4 does... It makes it really hard for them to start killing me. What do you think? Do they have enough mana that it makes sense to be scrying in their upkeep? They're limiting themselves to a 5-mana card. It depends on what's in their deck, but I think if all they're playing this turn is a 5-mana card, I'm feeling pretty comfortable I'm going to win. They found a cheap card they like. It's just a removal spell from a 4/4. Quandrix Cultivator. Okay. That's fine. Bang, out of the way, Campus Guide. We've got Memory Lapses to cast next turn. They didn't scry in their upkeep that time. That was probably just a mistake. If it was good enough for them to do it last time, it was certainly good enough to do it this time. All right. We got the Professor of Zoomancy. Field trip into that. Memory Lapse, their 2-drop. Come on. No, they don't have a 2-drop to Memory Lapse. Lame. What I want to get here. Well, Forest is the first step. Guess Environmental Sciences. Need a second mountain, and I also probably am going to eventually need plains. Come on. No counter. I think the counters they can have there are Memory Lapse and Divide by 0. I don't remember there being... Oh, the Reject is in this set. They could have actually had Reject there, and that would have been pretty bad for me. Wow. They went to town on that pest, huh? Guess I'm going to leave Memory Lapse up. It wasn't even clear that I necessarily should have played the Biomathematician that turn. I'll just trade. One mountain for me, please. Not really concerned about getting hit by 2/2s. They're getting priority. They have something, but not surprisingly, it's not something that seems to stop mascot exhibition. Might just be like another heated debate. Snow day, okay. The Tone Shredders could, in theory, get to be fairly large. In practice, I think I'm going to Creative Outburst it pretty soon. This is a card, Snow Day, I always thought would be great in this format. It was always kind of underwhelming. I don't really know what that Planeswalker does. I think it does enough that it was worth countering. Out of my way. We'll see what history has to say about this game. Should I find out what this card does? They tried to play the blue side last time. I think they're just going to play it in -3 to draw 2 cards at this point. They could turn this thing into an 0/2. That's not a very good use of a card, though. I'm going to start out by reconstructing history on the memory lapse and the mascot exhibition. This forces them to do something if they're going to do anything this turn, so I know that I don't need to send extra damage at the Planeswalker, because I do think I want to kill the Planeswalker this turn rather than just letting them untap and draw 2 cards with it. I guess this is a little bit ugly if I don't draw a forest this hand. I have to not draw a forest and also not draw a learn card to go get my experimental sciences. Might just play a 2/1 flyer on turn 4. Not too proud. I don't think I wanted to... Like, if I played Igneous Mastery there to draw 3, I would have had to discard. And also, I would have given them 2 treasures at the start of their 3rd turn. That doesn't seem appealing to me. That forest was right on time. Ow, I've been ripped apart. I was already far enough behind that it wasn't worth just sitting on the memory lapse like I have in previous games. Memory lapse isn't a hard counter, remember, it is just a slow your opponent down kind of card. Surprised that they played the shock rather than activating the campus. It's a pretty high premium to pay to use your shock there. Effectively spent 4 extra mana on it. Why are they getting priority here? I guess they have like a combat trick or maybe a removal spell that targets Killane. So I have 8 mana. I'd have to draw an untapped land next turn to play Mascot Exhibition. I have switched tactics to leaving memory lapse up, at least for this turn. And it pays off. Yeah, I think I'm going to play the Mascot Exhibition. I was thinking about, I could reconstruct history and get back the memory lapse, Biblioplex Assistant, and Environmental Sciences, and then lapse their Elemental Masterpiece again. But if I just wait a turn, I can reconstruct history this turn and get back memory lapse plus Mascot Exhibition, which seems better. Probably should have attacked with the 2/1. For some reason it didn't register that I was going to be able to play my 1/1 Death Touch as a blocker. They can attack here and I'll trade off a lot of the board. I think if they attack with everything, I'm just going to trade my 4-4 for their 4-4. I'll take 6. They should attack with the Ink Duelist as well, obviously. Alright. I think they're just missing out on damage. They're not attacking there. Do they have Arcane Subtraction? This is kind of lame, but I feel like I'm going to wind up just casting Mascot Exhibition every turn for the rest of the game. So I have to block with everybody. Or the Defend the Campus kind of gets me. I think I'd like to draw another Mascot Exhibition. Third time's a charm. Should I double block if they're willing to attack? They're unwilling to attack, so I don't have to worry about it. The Maelstrom Muse is able to block a lot of the attacking power of the Mascot Exhibition, so I think I'm better off just playing a 6/6 and drawing a new card rather than drawing another Mascot Exhibition next turn. I could also just play like draw 5 or draw 4 or whatever it would be. Cram Session. Okay. What do you got for me? Introduction to Prophecy, not that scary. I don't have the creative outburst down here. I could get, I guess, Academic Dispute if I really want to get this Maelstrom Muse out of the way, but I don't think I care about it enough that I would do that. We're just going to keep on trying Mascot Exhibition until they give up. Biblioplex Assistant is not really the kind of card you want to see in your opening hand. Pretty bad if you're playing it on curve, usually. But later on in the game, you know, once I've already got my Mascot Exhibition, it's pretty great. Clodrick's Assistant is a really good card. I think I'm going to let him have it for one more turn. Well, actually, I would almost guarantee they're going to take Igneous Inspiration here. It's not a field trip. Probably play Professor of Zoomancy next turn, and then the turn after I might go Environmental Sciences. Biblioplex Assistant back the field trip. I guess instead, now that I drew that, I'm gonna go get my planes. Play the Biomathematician. Next turn I can play a 6/6. Change of plans. I'm going to play Professor of Zoomancy and probably Pledge Mage this turn. Probably play the 6/6 next turn. I want to be careful with taking damage because they've got the Spectre of Defense, which I don't really have very many ways in my deck to get off the board at this point. They exiled the Igneous Inspiration. I have Creative Outburst, which could kill it, although I'd need one more land, and I have Academic Dispute. I think that's about it. Spectre of Defense both hits a little hard to a turn, but the drain ability, it adds up very quickly. Not feeling great about my position here. Not feeling great about the fact that I just made a 6/6 instead of a 7/7. That wasn't my finest work. This is whenever you gain a life, you get a counter. Man, that agonizing remorse was devastating. Okay, that's a pretty good card. Guess I'm just going to get Mascot Exhibition and not attack this turn. Wow, they had Duress and Agonizing Remorse in their deck. That's brutal. Come on, Creative Outburst off the top of my deck. There's hope. There's still hope. If I can Academic Dispute the Pledge Mage to eat the Spectre of the Fens this turn, I think I might be beginning to turn things around. They have red in their deck too, wow. Do you think they have white cards? If they have a removal spell, I lose. Let's block there. That's a little bad for me, but honestly, it could be a lot worse. They still have to spend all their mana on Spectre of the Fensing me to keep the Blood Researcher alive. Uh-oh. Scried to the top. Rude. They're going to destroy my sparring regimen? Rude. Very rude. Top again? They did get most of the lands out of their deck with the Quandrix, whatever it's called. Quandrix Apprentice. I'm sure they've looped through their deck at this point. I'm not going to trade with the Eye Twitch. It'll just come back as the Retriever Phoenix. I think I'll eventually have to do that. Oh no. That is probably going to kill me. Can't even really attack because they'll just chump with the pests and then the Blood Researcher will grow. Was I supposed to get back academic research? I guess I didn't know about the Spectre of the Fens when I made the decision. I think that's a good draw. So they're going to put me down to 6. I think I've got enough to block and live. They may be considering whether they want to use the campus instead of draining me. They also may be considering if they want to block with enough stuff to kill my guy. Which would be like Scurried Colony plus a pest. I'm fine with that exchange. I do kind of need to hope that they don't have much left in their deck that does anything. See, this is why this format's sweet. You get to play games like this. You really never got games like this in Phyrexia Limited. Or in Brothers War, for that matter. At bottom, okay. There's a reasonable chance that if I'm going to win this game, I'm just going to deck them. Like, I can eventually break through what they have, but it's going to take me so many turns before I get to the point where I feel comfortable attacking that probably they're going to run out of cards before I would deal them lethal damage. Getting priority. But to do what? Counter my mascot exhibition, okay. $15.15, that is pretty big. Just gonna get mascot exhibition back again. Down to 5 cards left. And at least one of them they scryed to the bottom, meaning that it probably does nothing. How many lands did they have in play? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They might only have 15 lands in their deck. They do have 2 emergent sequences. It's possible all their remaining cards are spells, or it's maybe... I would guess there's at most 1 land left. Really traded a lot of Biblioplex assistance with Retriever Phoenix this game. Oh, they scryed to the top. This is probably the best card left in their deck. It's a field trip. Retriever Phoenix is back again. I guess I'll get the start from scratch in case they bring back Retriever Phoenix yet again. And this way I can kill it. This is only a sorcery, so I don't need to play this 3rd land. Okay. So they had, I think that was their 16th land, and we've got 2 unknown cards. Actually, might be able to kill them this turn. 4 blockers. 9. What's this tap to do? Was not expecting to actually kill them that game. Did I have fun in that match? I did, but I skipped it anyway. I'm ready to be igneously inspired. I want here, maybe just elemental summoning. Gives me something to play next turn. My opponent has failed to play lands. I don't think that they're coming back from this one. I'm up against Sam Black as the end boss. This is a complicated way to get your colored mana to work. But I'm up for the challenge. Oh no, Archway Commons. And it's not a card that I generally play with. And I feel good about not playing with it. I have enough lessons in my sideboard that I think it's worth getting Cram Session there. Brutal. Whoa, I clicked through my turn? That wasn't good. I did not mean to click through my turn there. Meant to do that. All right, let's fight. Blue Sun Zenith is a really good card in this format. It's pretty easy, actually, to just win by being a control deck that winds up decking your opponent, which I think is what Sim appears to have drafted. Hope he doesn't have Mascot Exhibition. He does. Well then. This doesn't seem like a game I'm winning. Maybe if I hadn't taken a turn off, I might have had some hope. Yeah, I think I'm dead. Maybe not quite. Probably, though. I'm at 22, so I have at least that going for me. I need my leyline invocation to make it 10-10. Obviously, if this thing dies, the game is over. Samstrom, Blue Sun, Zenith again, I concede. Yeah, alright. Defeated. Blue Sun, Zenith, and Mascot Exhibition has got to be two of the most fun things to get together. Well, this isn't fair. It's a rematch. And Sam's deck seemed massively better than mine in the mirror. I did draw my Rutha, which Rutha's really good, so maybe that gives me hope. I remember seeing a ton of stuff that just kills Rutha. So I think I'm just going to run it out here. Hope it lives. There's a bunch of Barian books, a Lash of Maul Ice, and a second Lash of Maul Ice. Tough breaks for Rutha. Let's go to Zoo. I might be able to win just on the back of some amount of beatdown. My beatdown's kind of slowing down. I do have him down to 19. I'm going to take credit for that. Should I just memory lapse this turn? Then next turn I'll mastery for 4. I do need to get to the point where I'm actually attacking, because Sam has a better late game than I do, because he has Blue Sun Zenith. I want to redraw memory lapse. So next turn I can mascot exhibition plus memory lapse. Just gonna let him eat something. Does that make sense? No, I don't think that makes sense. I have 18 cards left. I'm getting him down fairly low, even if he plays Mascot Exhibition this turn. So maybe I can finish this game off with the Creative Outburst. or Reconstruct History would also be an insane draw. He only has 6 lands untapped. Did he play a land already this turn? I see. I think I would prefer to just use the campus rather than play Fractal Summoning into the Rise of Exodus. Hopefully there's no second Mascot Exhibition in my future. Come on, Reconstruct History. Not gonna keep a Soothsayer. Sam still has all of those Serpentine Curves in his deck, and he also has... what's it called? Blue Sun Zenith. I really need to reconstruct history pronto. There's also, he has Burying Books ×2 left. How many bottom cards do I know? I know 2. This might actually be a scry and upkeep spot. I think I need to do better than that. I failed in my goal to do better. I've got 2 cards that are really good to draw into. Reconstruct History and Creative Outburst. Like 2 out of 9. That's not that bad. Leyline Invocation would also be certainly the card that would do something at least. I think if I actually get to connect for damage here, should I keep Sparring Regimen? I think it's good enough to keep. It's also fun just because I get to reveal that I have Sparring Regimen in my deck. If I get to connect for damage here, I'm going to be in range where Creative Outburst finishes Sam off. Assuming he doesn't gain life, which so far we haven't seen much that gains life, if anything. Wow, I could have played my land and played around it. Sam didn't scry in his upkeep, and I think that that's because he's thinking he might draw Blue Sun Zenith, would be my guess. Maybe he already had it in his hand. Is that possible that he already had it in his hand? Why didn't he play it last turn if he did, though? It certainly looks like he's casting Blue Sun Zenith. He needs an answer to both of my creatures because the Sparring Regimen is going to make the Fractal lethal. And then I'm still just going to have a 2 and 8 shot to just kill him with Creative Outburst. Aw, boo. I wanted to scry into Creative Outburst to reconstruct history. We need to join the best of 3 queue to finish our match. Oh, anyway, 7 wins. That was kind of a showcase of why Strixhaven's a pretty cool draft format. You can draft kind of crazy decks like that. There are also beatdown decks that exist, although I didn't play against any of them. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.